You feel called to let go without knowing what's next. There's no external push, no drama, no crisis, just a quiet, growing sense that it's time to release something. A job, a relationship, a city, a role you've outgrown. You don't have a clear plan. You can't explain it in a way that satisfies other people, but the truth won't stop humming under your skin. This part of your life is done. This isn't running away. It's not quitting. It's answering an inner summons that only the chosen ones recognize. The age of Aquarius doesn't knock, it whispers. And when your soul hears the call, it knows that clinging is the only real danger. The farewell begins long before you know what you're welcoming. And letting go without answers isn't recklessness, it's resonance. You're not walking away from something. You're walking toward alignment. And no, it won't make logical sense. But that's because logic doesn't live where you're going. All right, let's dive in. We'd love it if you could subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Familiar places start to feel emotionally hollow. You return to places that once held your laughter, your stories, your comfort, and something feels missing. Not in the decor, not in the people, but in you. The cafe you loved, the friend's apartment that used to feel like a second home, the city streets that once inspired you now feel like hollow sets on a stage you've outgrown. It's not nostalgia. It's not disappointment. It's departure. Your soul is already halfway moved out. Your body just hasn't caught up yet. This emptiness is not a punishment. It's a clearing, a sacred vacuum that tells you you've collected what you came here for. And once the frequency no longer matches your growth, the emotional charge fades. This isn't about hating where you are. It's about honoring that it's no longer where you reside. People you love begin drifting without conflict. You didn't fight. They didn't betray you. No one did anything wrong. And yet you feel the space widening. You reply slower. They cancel more often. The conversations go quiet, not out of anger, but out of resonance dissolving. This is one of the most bittersweet parts of awakening. Realizing that love doesn't always mean longevity. The people you've held dear may no longer share your frequency. Not because you're better, not because they're behind, but because your path's beautiful, rich, sacred were only meant to run parallel for a time, and when the timelines split, the connection fades like the last note of a song. Not tragic, not cruel, just complete. Let them drift. Hold them lovingly in your memory, but don't shrink to stay close. The ones meant for your next chapter won't need holding on to. They'll arrive vibrating in harmony. You sense that silence now speaks louder than words. Once you filled the void, you explained, justified, replied instantly, kept every conversation alive like it was your duty. Now, you pause, you observe, you allow the silence to stretch. And in that quiet, you hear more than ever before, the sigh between words, the tension beneath the smile, the truth not being spoken, yours and theirs. This is not withdrawal. This is evolution. As the age of Aquarius deepens, chosen souls develop a new kind of literacy, one that reads between the lines, one that hears what was never said aloud, one that values energetic clarity over verbal noise. You've realized that words can distract, that presence doesn't need commentary, that your stillness is often more honest than your sentences. And now silence isn't uncomfortable. It's your new native language. You're no longer interested in fitting in anywhere. You used to worry about standing out, about being too quiet, too intense, too strange, too sensitive. You spent years learning how to blend in, editing your thoughts, softening your edges, mimicking normal. Now, you couldn't care less. It's not rebellion. It's not ego. It's clarity. You've simply lost interest in belonging to spaces where your truth has to shrink to be tolerated. You no longer crave the comfort of acceptance if it means abandoning yourself. You sit at tables where silence is sacred. You walk away from rooms where your spirit feels heavy. You don't explain why anymore because your frequency does the talking. In the age of Aquarius, chosen ones aren't here to fit. They're here to hold the shape of their truth and let the world reconfigure around it. And when you stop chasing belonging, you find something far deeper: alignment. Time feels unstable, but you've stopped fighting it. You forget what day it is. Time moves like water, fast, then slow, then sideways. Some hours stretch like entire lifetimes. Others vanish in the blink of a breath. You used to resist it. Try to structure it. Hold it still like sand in your fists. But lately you've stopped fighting because you're beginning to understand time is no longer linear for you. When your frequency accelerates, the illusion of clock time begins to dissolve. You feel the past echoing through the present. You feel the future reaching back to touch you now. It's not chaos. It's quantum. You're not late. You're not lost. You're simply living outside the rhythm that once defined your reality. And in this liminal space, surrender becomes your superpower. You're becoming hyper-aware of what feels real and what doesn't. The filter is gone. You can no longer tolerate what's fake, forced, or performative. Not in people. Not in work. Not in yourself. You feel it in your body, a tightening, a dullness, a disconnect when something is out of integrity. You used to ignore it, push through, tell yourself it was just being polite. Now you can't unfeel it. You read energy like a second language. You sense agendas behind smiles. You hear the emptiness in overused words. But it's not judgment. It's discernment. The more you return to your own truth, the more allergic you become to anything that pretends to be truth but isn't. And while this sensitivity can be overwhelming at times, it's also sacred. It means you've chosen resonance over routine. It means you're remembering how to feel the real. You're drawn toward simplicity as the world gets louder. The louder the world becomes, the algorithms, the opinions, the curated identities, the more your soul reaches for stillness. You crave silence, soft clothes, uncomplicated food, clear air, conversations that don't need conclusions. You find yourself decluttering not just your space, but your expectations, your schedule, your inner noise. You're not checking out. You're tuning in. The age of Aquarius isn't about escaping the world. It's about living in it with such alignment that noise doesn't define you. You don't need more stimulation. You need more signal. And in the simplicity, something extraordinary happens. You start hearing your own frequency again. And it's beautiful. The energy of goodbye shows up before any goodbye is said. You sense it before it happens. The pause between texts. The smile that feels thinner. The space that suddenly fills the room even when no one has left. No one's saying goodbye. But the energy already is. This is not abandonment. It's transition. The soul always whispers endings before the mind catches up. You've felt it in friendships, in places, in habits that once felt eternal. A subtle loosening, a quiet withdrawal of resonance. And this time, you don't fight it. You don't chase, beg, or dramatize. You simply listen. Because chosen ones don't hold on out of fear. They honor when a frequency has completed its cycle. Sometimes the farewell is spiritual before it's spoken. And the kindest thing you can do is let it be a gentle one. You notice more messages in nature than in newsfeeds. You scroll through social media and feel nothing. But then a crow lands next to you. A leaf spins in an impossible pattern. The wind whispers through the trees like it has something to say. And somehow it does. You begin to realize the real updates aren't in your feed. They're in the field. Nature doesn't speak in words. It speaks in frequencies, in repetition, in synchronicity, in stillness. A butterfly lingers too long. The moonlight hits your skin just right. You keep seeing the same animal, flower, cloud formation, and it's not random. The natural world is alive with mirrors. It reflects your becoming. It reflects what your nervous system knows, but your intellect hasn't named yet. And the more noise the world makes, the more nature becomes your trusted translator. You feel watched over but not directed. You don't feel alone anymore, even when there's no one around. Even when you're unsure, scared, or grieving. There's a sense, soft but certain, that something is with you. But it doesn't give you orders. It doesn't push you toward decisions. It simply walks beside you in quiet support. This presence doesn't demand faith. It confirms it. You feel nudges instead of commands, signs instead of schedules, winks from the universe that say, "You're not crazy, you're just waking up." And in moments of stillness, when you stop asking for guidance, you realize it's been there all along, not telling you what to do, but holding space while you remember your own wisdom. That's what chosen ones feel. Not control, but companionship. You understand that the split isn't coming, it's already here. You've heard it for years. There's a shift coming. The world will divide. Get ready! But the truth is, it's not a future event. It's already happening. The split isn't some cosmic explosion. It's the quiet decisions you're making daily. What you choose to believe. Where you place your energy. How you respond to fear. Who you become when no one's watching. Some people are doubling down on the old systems. Others are already building the new earth. And the separation is not physical, it's vibrational. This is not about superiority. It's about selection. Chosen not by some external force, but by your own alignment. You're not waiting for the shift. You are the shift. And the more you embody that truth, the more you realize the old world hasn't collapsed. You've simply stopped living in it. Before we end, I have one request for you. In the comments, write down the version of your ideal self you want to become. There's a saying, when you give your dreams words, they start becoming real. And when you write them as if they've already come true, the universe listens even more powerfully. So go ahead, leave a comment about your dream life, written in the past tense, as if it already happened. The universe is always ready to hear your desires and bring them into form. Let your words flow into the comment section and send your vision out into the universe. And don't forget, when you see someone else's dream, celebrate it. By lifting each other up, the energy multiplies. From the bottom of my heart, I'm wishing for all your dreams to come true. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you felt something today, please subscribe, give a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. I started this channel from Japan, hoping to help people around the world live better lives. My English might be a bit rough, but I hope you'll stay with me on this journey. This channel shares videos that help you understand how to live in the age of air just by listening. Subscribe so the next message finds you automatically. Thank you.